Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna work on reading a skill multiple choice question which is on page 70, test 3. Well, my dear students, I have chosen these questions for you because, despite their simplicity, brevity of the text, the use of simple words, you might find these questions somewhat incomprehensible and tricky. And I have chosen this exam for you because in this exam, the greatest need of process of elimination is felt, as answering these questions might be somewhat complex and tricky because, I have observed many classes and most of the students had many wrong options, many wrong answers. There are some tricks that might not be visible at first, but there are exactly where many candidates have fallen for. So I want you to be really mindful of the techniques, of the practical strategies that today we're going to work together. And let's take a deep dive into the questions. Okay. We have 4 questions, 27 to 30. These are multiple choice questions. As we have practiced before, first go through the options and identify the appropriate keywords, rather than checking the text, rather than reading the text. Okay? And I have told you, selecting suitable keywords will significantly enhance your speed. Now, we're gonna find the keywords. What I want you is to check and examine all the options together. I want you to detect all the options together, to find the keywords all together. How it would be possible, maybe this is your question. Here's the catch. I want you to identify the similarities at first with the first glance. Check all the similarities, okay? After detecting the similarities, it would be when you extract the different keywords related to the similar keywords from the options, okay? At first, you can find similarities, such as communicating, conversation. And in number B, speakers, because all of them are related to talking, speaking, so they're same. Maybe in some types of question, you can find a repetition of a noun, which is one similarity. Okay. But here I can find synonym words. In this case, we have communicating, conversation. Okay? So I want to find differences. I want to find different keywords related to the similarities, such as different languages, familiar. Look. We have neither of the speakers is familiar. So the keyword is not familiar. This is unfamiliar. Okay? Neither is used to make the sentence negative. Okay? So never forget. Be mindful of the negative keywords like none, neither, not. These are really important because maybe converse the concept. You might assume the answer is correct, but this is conversely wrong. Okay, so we have unfamiliar. Number C is difficult. Difficult is related to conversation. And number D is challenging. Okay? So I can find adjectives in relation to similarities. Okay, good. Now we're looking for the answer. We're looking for the answer in this text. Okay. I have to start from the first paragraph because 27 is our first question. And as you know that questions are in order as the text is in multiple choice question, so that I make sure that if I find the first location and I answer the first question, the next question would be the rest of the text. And if I cannot find any question, I can ignore it. Try to answer the rest of the question, and when I find other questions location, I can find the former questions better. Okay. Well, paragraph number 1, I check it to find any to find the option regarding to. Now, here's the trick. Regarding to the question and the choices. This is what many candidates have fallen for. They don't read the question. So now, what we're looking for, now I'm checking the text, but what I'm looking for the options to do what? So let's check. It says, what does the reader learn about the conversation? So we're looking for what the reader learn about the conversation in the first paragraph. It actually addressed the first paragraph, but it doesn't mean that all the questions should address you. No, this is the question that the examiner decided to address you in the first paragraph. Okay, what I'm looking for, the reader learn about the conversation. Okay, so I have to check the first paragraph, which is addressed now. I have to check the keywords. Now, I wanna check the keywords such as speaking, communication, conversation. I can find communication here. Okay, the first visible keyword. But maybe some of you might consider that conversation is wrong because it was directly mentioned communication. So I can decide conversation is wrong because it mentioned communication. But what we're looking for all the keywords highlighted. Okay, not only communication, but also adjectives. Not only similarities, but also differences, you know? So, I want you to be mindful of checking all the keywords, not deciding whether first or second keywords. Okay. Kind of background noise. Major challenge, struggling, a name, speaking the same language. They can resonate to the choices, because in our choices we had speaking, we had environment. For example, what I have seen with the first glance, there were some challenging and there were some problems. So these keywords can resonate. Okay. According to challenging, according to, for example, background noise, challenging, speaking, others, I can find obstacles and struggling as well, because they can resonate, challenge. Okay, these are the keywords I can elicit from the paragraph. I just check the keywords from the paragraph. Okay, now I want you to concentrate on the paragraph to answer the correct answer, to answer which one is correct. Okay, concentrate please for a minute. I give you 1 minute, please. Okay, everybody. As it is mentioned in the text, noise is a major challenging for artificial speech translation, okay? And you can see here that the speaker is struggling to follow Professor Bible in English due to background noise, as well as a scratchy line, okay? Everybody, despite the fact that they are speaking the same language, okay, they had this challenging, okay? They had these difficulties, okay? This indicates that there are some challenges in the conversation which both speakers are facing. Therefore, the answer is D. But this method of answering the question is not the approach I want you to perform on a test day. And maybe you're unable to elicit the information from the paragraph as I did. And 90% you try to forcefully choose the first option that comes to your eyes. You know, everybody, all of the reasons I mentioned are why you shouldn't try to find the correct answer without eliminating other choices, okay? And instead of trying to prejudge the answer choices, you should first attempt to reject answers. This more pessimistic approach can help you identify reasons why choices are incorrect, which is an unbiased way of answering multiple choice questions. Okay, everybody? So, now I want you to assume you're confident that A is wrong. Assume I say this is wrong, okay? On a test day, suppose I said this is wrong, okay? When you attempt to view things negatively, you will find the evidence needed to reject the option. And don't worry, if it is correct, you will encounter a contradiction, okay? Finally, you will face a contradiction, which is the reason the answer is correct, okay? So, assume A is wrong. Okay, if I want to reject it, suppose somebody says A is rejected, okay? I try to reject it. Speakers are communicating in different languages. Okay, I have to find different languages, and I have to find communicating in different languages is what we learn from the conversation in the first paragraph. Okay? As you can see in the first paragraph, you know, the text explicitly states that speakers are the speaker, as you can see here, I am struggling. The speaker is struggling to follow the conversation due to the background noise, okay? And the scratch line, okay. All I said hinders clear communication, okay? So this difficulty is not due to the speakers communicating in different languages. Am I right? Is it because of communicating in different languages? Of course not. The difficulty was due to background noise, okay? Not different languages. Because you can see, look, you can see even if before you're speaking the same language. Maybe on a test day you don't have enough time to reasoning this paragraph to elicit what it says, but at least you can see even if you're speaking the same language as we are. So if it says even if, it means that even if you don't have this problem, you still have an obstacle, okay? So the answer is not different languages. So number B, neither of the speakers, I told you that this is unfamiliar, not familiar. Okay, being unfamiliar with their environment, which was not any difficulty, okay, which is option B, rejected. And is there any statement, any sentence talking about the topic of conversation? Of course not. The topic is not being difficult for both speakers. Okay? So the answer C is incorrect. And as you can see, the main challenge highlighted in the text is the obstacle in communication, which is posed by factors like noise and technical issues, making the aspects of conversation challenging for both speakers. So the answer D is the correct option. Okay. 28. What assists the electronic translator during lectures at one institution? What I'm looking for, the specific element that assists the electronic translator during lectures. Okay, I'm looking for object, element that assists the electronic translator. Okay, look at the options. We have 4 options with the repetition of the, meaning that there's a fight among nouns. Nouns are similarities, okay? I have to find differences. And if you divide keywords into 2 categories, differences and similarities, differences are the keywords you have to look for in the text, okay? Because similarities are the keywords that are mostly repeated through the text, okay? But what we have to look for are differences, different keywords. Look, similarities are the, I'm looking for differences, okay? Repeated content of lectures. I have told you that differences are nouns, okay? Because similarities were the, okay? So, what I'm looking for is content of the lectures and repeated, okay, content of the lectures. The adjective is important. Adjectives are really important. Adjectives are our priority to other keywords, okay? Adjectives and adverbs. Repeated content of lectures. The students' reading skills. This is same as reading skills of students. And I have told you that in this combination, the noun followed by of is more important than the noun following of. Okay, the first noun in this combination is more important than the second. Okay, the language is used, the lecture's technical ability. So technical ability of the lectures, technical ability is more important than lectures. Okay. Well, generally in these type of questions with short, not complex choices, you'd better to look at the paragraph. It's better to quickly dive into the paragraph, finding where the question is, okay, the location where the question is explained, to elicit the answer, okay? Because the choices are not really complex and difficult. So in this case, it is not bad. You're actually allowed to skip the choices or quickly read the choices and check the text where the question is, and then you come back to the choices and check the choices again. Okay, let us check the text. As you can see, the name of institution is easily seen in the text, which is located in paragraph 2. I want you to check other paragraphs to find the exact name in the rest of passage as well, okay? If I cannot find the name of institution in other paragraphs, I make sure this paragraph is where I can find the answer, okay? I check paragraph 3. I can find the name starting in capital letters. Let us check next question. You can see hitchhiker, which is the specific name with capital letters that is exactly mentioned in paragraph 3. So I make sure that paragraph 2 is where I can find the answer of 28, okay? So let us check it. This is actually a short paragraph, and I want you to concentrate on to find which option is the answer. I don't want you to eliminate any choice, okay? I just want you to directly answer this choice. And I want you to know that how it's difficult to answer the question directly without the process of elimination method. It would be really difficult to answer the questions in multiple choice question type question. It would be really difficult to answer directly. Okay, check it. I give you time to answer 28. Okay, everybody, let's quickly review whatever the text said. The text actually mentioned that this institution lectures are given in German, but students can follow them in English using an electronic translator. The system generates text so students can read them on their devices, something like to subtitling. And the text highlights that the lecturers speak clearly, there's no background chatter to contend with, and they often say much the same thing each year. Look, everybody. This repetition and consistency in the content of the lectures aid the electronic translator in effectively translating the lectures from German to English for the students. So if you're looking for the specific elements that assist the electronic translator during the lectures, it would actually be this repetition and consistency, which is the repeated content of the lectures in part A. So the answer is A. But if you want to answer this question based on the process of elimination method, you have to reject A. You have to reject all the choices one by one. But I know it might seem awkward to reject the correct answer. And you might ask yourself, what the hell I'm doing? I'm just rejecting the correct choice, because you know that one of the choices is correct and you know that one of them is correct. So for each one, you might ask yourself, what happened if this is correct and I'm just rejecting the correct one? But I just want you to assume that you're confident each one is wrong. And don't worry. During this process, during this elimination process, you will eventually encounter a contradiction if one of them is correct. Okay? Don't worry. For example, in A, I'm just trying to reject it based on my logical reason. Okay. If I want to reject it, I have to find opposing synonyms. The repeated content of lectures should be played ones, should be new ones, not repeated content, new content. It might be maybe something new, everything new. So I have to find something synonym to these keywords I have mentioned. So I can see the same thing each year. So you can find same, which is not the opposing keyword to A. If repeated is incorrect, so there shouldn't be same, okay? Which is the contradiction, leading A to be correct. Okay, suppose you cannot find this contradiction, because I had many students answer this question. Many students rejected A. I had many students who successfully rejected A. With no problem, they rejected A. Okay, reject A. B. I have rejected A. B. A student's reading skills. So, is the reading skills of students assisting the electronic translator? Is there a statement saying? Of course not. So you reject B. And what about the languages used? Is it what can assist the electronic translator? It is just like that the languages used could assist. It was like German and English could assist. If it was French, it wouldn't assist, okay? Is it true? Of course not. And it didn't mention at all. And D, technical ability. Was there any technical ability such as working with computer, working with system, how well they work with systems? Of course not. Technical abilities and technical issues didn't even mention to be in assistance of electronic translator. Okay. So B, C, and D are easily rejected. So I have rejected them all. Now I can check them again to deeply check the rejected answer. Which one is confidently rejected? Reading skills was confidently rejected, as well as languages used. That was actually obviously visible that it didn't mention at all. Okay, it wasn't mentioned at all. The examiner didn't mention at all. So as well as the lecturer's technical ability, there was no mention of you working with computers, using systems. So A can be our answer, okay? Because repeated can be suspicious. It can be checked again. Of course, it is worth checking again. So if you rejected B, C, and D, you would have checked A again, okay? Okay, 29. When referring to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the writer suggests that we're looking for what the writer suggested. We're looking for the writer's suggestion referring to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. As you can remember, we have found a paragraph where question 29 was explained. We have found it before, and I told you that there is a special name starting in capital letters showing us this is where we can find the answer of 29. Okay, so let's check the keywords. First, we want to check the keywords. If you want to check the keywords, I can find no similarity. And all the choices are different. All of them are mentioning different content. Okay. In this case, you have to find verbs because we have different sentences, different statements, so that we can find different verbs. Yes? So, verbs are sometimes mentioned with adverbs. Sometimes verb and the sentence containing verb has got some adjectives. Adjectives and adverbs are always our priority in finding keywords. So, I'm checking the verbs, and if I have adverbs and adjectives, they are in priority as well. Okay? Okay, in A, the verb is was considered. And the noun pertaining to was considered is babblefish. And the adjective is undesirable, which is our priority, undesirable. So, what I can see, babblefish, undesirable. Okay? Okay. Babblefish, undesirable. So, I have checked verb, but I checked the nouns pertaining to verb as well as the adjective if exists. Okay? So, babblefish, undesirable. And B, book, seriously intending to predict the future. So, I have checked book pertaining to was not intending, and seriously is important. The book seriously predict the future. Okay? This is what we have to notice. These are the keywords. And next one, artificial, adjective. Artificial speech, adjective is our priority. Artificial speech translation, okay. Was not. Okay. The word combination of noun pertaining to was not was artificial speech translation. Surprising development. Okay. So these two combination of nouns are pertaining to this verb, which are our keywords. Some speech translation techniques are better than others. I have told you. Comparative superlative adjectives are our priority. Better than is really important. And two sides of better than. One side is a speech translation techniques and other side is others. There's a comparison that should be checked. Okay. I have checked that I will explain which one is correct. First, I want to explain which one is correct. This is the way I answer for you. But on a test day, I don't want you to reason which one is correct. I want you to try to reject them all. And I will give you time to try to reason which one is correct. Today, right now, I want you to reason which one is correct because I want you to know how difficult to directly find the correct answer. So, I give you 1 minute to check which one is correct, and I will explain which one is correct. Then, try to reject other choices, okay? Okay. Okay, everybody, this can be inferred from the text where it mentions that the idea of artificial speech translation has been around for a long time. Additionally, the mention of the Babelfish from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a novel published in 1979, implies that the concept of artificial speech translation was not surprising or unexpected even back then. And the text also mentions that the Babelfish, a device for instant language translation, was a representation of futuristic technology that was dreamt of long before becoming practically achievable, which indicates that the concept of artificial speech translation was not a surprising or new development, but rather a long anticipated advancement in technology. So the answer is C. Now I want you to analyze why the other choices are not the best answers, one by one. Number A. In A, everybody, the text doesn't suggest that the Babelfish was considered undesirable at that time. It actually presents it as a desirable and futuristic technology that technology enthusiasts dreamt of having, as you can see in the text. So A cannot be the answer. And B can be, this choice makes an assumption that goes beyond the text, which is actually beyond the text, because the text mentions that The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as a science fiction novel published in 1979 and features the Babelfish. There is no direct statement indicating that the book was not seriously intending to predict the future. This choice makes an assumption which is totally beyond the text. So B cannot be the answer, which the book intending to predict the future. And part D, the text doesn't discuss the superiority of some speech translation techniques over others. It primarily focuses on the concept of artificial speech translation as a long anticipated development in the future. So it cannot be any superiority or something better than others. The answer is wrong. Number 30. What does the writer say about sharing earpieces? What should we look for? We have to look for what the writer says about sharing earpieces. Okay, now let us check the appropriate keywords in order to search faster, in order to scan faster. Okay, you can see a to-that. It means that similarities are reluctance and equipment. Okay? We have to find differences related to those similarities, pertaining to those similarities, which are understandable in part B and unnecessary in part C. Okay? Let us check A and D. Get used to doing. In the future, will is really important. And B, worry about. People need to worry about. Do you know why? Because it is something, is a similarity. There is a similarity, which is, it is something. So, it is something that people get used to doing or need to worry about. Okay? Here's the thing we have to check in the text. Okay. Good. Now, let us check the text. Of course, the next paragraph. What should we look for? We have to look for something that, something about sharing earpieces. Yes? I can see earpieces. So it means that this paragraph can be the answer. I can find the answer in this paragraph. So I have to check it. If the next paragraph has got the earpieces, it would be different. No, it is not. So earpieces is in this paragraph. So here is where the answer exists. Okay. Let's check. I give you time to concentrate. I give you time to concentrate. A minute. Okay, everybody, as the text mentioned, there's a barrier with sharing one of the purposes with a stranger, implying that people are hesitant to engage in this practice. And the writer further discusses that the issue could be resolved if purpose translators become more common, indicating an awareness of the current social norm where people are not comfortable sharing purposes with strangers. And all of this understanding is a key to choose option B as the most appropriate answer. But for you, as a practice, I want you to consider eliminating the other options in order to identify choice B during this process. Feel free to send me any problem, any mistakes, and I will answer you. Thanks a lot and have a good time.